What are you doing here at Ripple's Apex conference, sir?
So we just launched XRP-focused Treasury company listed on Nasdaq, and we're here to meet a whole range of companies, meet Ripple themselves, to unpack further in terms of our strategy. And we really want to contribute to growing the pie for the ecosystem as well. So we're building a business around DeFi solutions off XRPL that will generate revenue, profits, and cash flow over time.
Will that be recognized as dividends through VivoPower?
Yes, in time, if we get to a point where we can pay dividends, we'd love to do that. I'm a holder of XRP, so the flywheel we want to get to is that it results in an appreciation in the value of both XRP as well as VivoPower. No one's done it with XRP. As I mentioned to you off camera, that was the first coin that I invested in, 2016-17, and still feel very positive towards, especially post the SEC case.
Hey, what's going on, family and friends? In this special episode, I'm coming to you from Singapore, where I had the chance to attend Ripple's flagship APAC event, the XRPL Apex Conference of 2025. While here, I connected with someone who's making serious waves in both the public markets and the XRP ecosystem. That's Kevin Chin, the CEO of VivoPower, a Nasdaq-listed company, ticker symbol VVPR, that just became the first publicly traded firm to adopt an XRP-focused treasury strategy in collaboration with the team at Flare Networks, where I also recently interviewed their CEO and co-founder Hugo Filion, which you can tune into on my YouTube channel. In this interview, Kevin Chin breaks down why VivoPower isn't just buying and holding XRP, they're building a MicroStrategy style treasury model, but with XRP. They're investing in DeFi startups, building on the XRP ledger. They're also exploring the intersection of solar energy, AI, and digital assets, creating real-world impact in emerging markets through decentralized finance. We also talked about how Bitcoin mining, solar energy, and XRP can work together to transform nations, and why now is the time for companies like VivoPower to go all in on Web3 innovation. Kevin's long-term vision is powerful, strategic, and frankly, refreshing to hear at a time when a lot of institutions are still on the sidelines. If you're bullish on utility, energy, or the future of XRP, you'll want to watch this conversation the whole way through. So let's get into it. Here's my exclusive interview with Kevin Chin, the CEO of VivoPower, live from Ripple's XRPL Apex conference in Singapore. Thanks for tuning in. Love you mucho. What's going on, family and friends? We're here in Singapore for Ripple's flagship event, XRPL Apex Conference. I've got the CEO of VivoPower, Kevin Chin. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Good to meet you, Ray.
Good to meet you as well. What are you doing here at Ripple's Apex Conference, sir?
So we just launched XRP-focused Treasury company listed on Nasdaq, and we're here to meet a whole range of companies, meet Ripple themselves, to unpack further in terms of our strategy. And we really want to contribute to growing the pie for the ecosystem as well. So we're not just buying and holding XRP alone.
In addition to buying and holding, what exactly are you doing?
Sure. One of the things that appeals to us about XRP is that it's utility. It's not just scarcity with respect to, for example, Bitcoin. And we're convicted in terms of the demand side applications that can come from various forms of DeFi solutions. So our strategy is, number one, treasury, so buy and hold. Number two is to engage and participate and contribute to DeFi solutions. And number three, we're also ring-fencing a portion of the funds that we've raised to invest in DeFi companies using XRPL to build real-life applications.
So you're, I don't want to say stealing the MicroStrategy, you're improving the MicroStrategy approach of using this digital asset as part of the treasury. What exactly inspired you to take on this initiative?
I think what Michael Saylor has done is incredible, obviously, and so that's been an inspiration. Metaplanet with Simon as well, and what he's done. No one's done it with XRP. As I mentioned to you off camera, that was the first coin that I invested in, 2016-17, and still feel very positive towards, especially post the SEC case. Are we improving on MicroStrategy? I wouldn't say so. I'd say we're emulating, if you will, but also adding other elements, because this is not just a short-term play for us. This is a 10-year build in terms of a business and a company that not just holds XRP, but contributes to the ecosystem.
By virtue of investing into market participants and then also using the asset to its full utility.
Speaking of using XRP to its fullest utility, Here's a quick clip of an interview that I did with the Bearable Bull way back in 2021. I told the Bearable Bull that I was using the digital asset XRP to invest in the private equity of the fintech company Ripple Labs, available on Link2's platform. This is how I was really able to grasp that XRP was at times not a security. Check it out.
Why am I investing in a 401k vehicle, which is supposedly getting 8%, when you can potentially put into an asset that's increases by hundreds or thousands of percents if you do your homework? And so I made the decision with that COVID CARE Act that was going on in 2020, where you can reduce up to, I think, $100,000. Just did that, dropped it all into XRP after doing a considerable amount of trading and realizing, after using an EliPal or doing different cold storages, seeing how fast Bitcoin moved across the network when you initiated a transaction versus others. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it in XRP. So let's take this risk. And it's just been snowballing into meeting incredible people, using the XRP to then purchase equities on Link2,
Alrighty, back to my interview with VivoPower CEO Kevin Chin. Thanks for tuning in.
Do you mind expanding upon what potential use cases that may be evolved around XRP that others may not be mindful of?
Firstly, from a token perspective and a treasury perspective, as we all know, there isn't so much the staking and the yield farming potential with XRP. I think there's technology and there's some great companies here working on that we're collaborating with and talking to in terms of how do we maximize return on static holdings. And we're buying and holding, and unlike an ETF, we're never liquidating. This is holding forever. So we want to maximize that return. So that's one element. The second element in terms of other DeFi solutions which are relevant, for example, real-world asset tokenization. We've just heard about EDM and programmability. So I think that's going to be huge from a sort of demand side dynamic. So yes, we are interested to look at and invest in some of the companies doing that and collaborating with them.
Appreciate you, Kevin, sharing your inspiration of why you're attending this conference. Can we talk a little bit more about VivoPower and what type of utility you guys are bringing to the market? Who are your preferred customers, and how can those in the audience learn more about VivoPower and follow you guys in the industry?
Sure, no problem. VivoPower, the ticker is VVPR. We're listed on Nasdaq, have been since 2016. So
1 second. You're an already public company using digital assets as part of your treasury strategy.
Correct, yes, okay. Exactly. With an XRP focus. And we're the first in the world to focus on XRP from a treasury strategy perspective. And so, yeah, you can learn more about us. Just punch in ticker VVPR, and there'll be a lot of information that sort of comes up. And with respect to the solutions that you mention and you ask about, it's really just think of us as MicroStrategy for XRP as only one element. The second element is that we're building a business around DeFi solutions off XRPL that will generate revenue, profits, and cash flow over time.
Would that be recognized as dividends through VivoPower?
Yes, in time, if we get to a point where we can pay dividends, we'd love to do that. I'm a holder of XRP, so the flywheel we want to get to is that it results in an appreciation in the value of both XRP as well as VivoPower.
Now, what are some of the things that you don't think are being discussed enough inside this room that those in the audience would actually benefit from?
Great question. So I think that, and this is just from me being here and learning and through osmosis, I think there's so much opportunity from a DeFi applications perspective that is not well understood in terms of the broader populace, in terms of the stock market, and that is an opportunity to amplify and to share that. And these are real world applications that will benefit companies, societies, and communities. So I think that's definitely an aspect.
Which vertical do you think DeFi is going to impact the most? Of course, within finance, but do you think there's going to be other verticals that benefit from these new trends that we're not even thinking about?
Obviously, one is AI, and everyone talks about that, the confluence of digital assets, crypto, and AI. So the genesis of VivoPower is that we were a solar power development company, and we do a lot of work in emerging markets, so to speak, or developing countries. I think there's profound applications for XRPL-based DeFi solutions to really transform, for example, power grid, electric vehicles, rooftop solar. We see all sorts of friction in the way business and money is being done in these countries, that if you resolve that, there's going to be a force multiplier in terms of impact on societies, economies, and just people.
You know, that's a really great point, Kevin. And I think a lot of people are overlooking the utility of even Bitcoin for the mining rigs, and where you can drop ship these rigs anywhere in the world next to a solar farm and then attach a Starlink, and all of a sudden you're participating in a global network like never before. What are your thoughts? And do you think XRP then provides some type of use case or utility in tandem to Bitcoin?
It's funny you should ask that. We've been involved in mining for 4 years now, and we're mining Bitcoin, now Dogecoin, because the economics of mining Dogecoin are very attractive at the moment, and we're converting that to Bitcoin. I've said in the past that Bitcoin is, in effect, an economic battery, because you can take surplus solar that's being spilled, it's not being used, and use that to mine Bitcoin and converting that to a tangible financial asset, which you can then monetize. And so, again, if you look at countries like Ethiopia, Bhutan, they have cheap hydropower, and they've got too much of it. Yeah. And you can mine Bitcoin, even as a nation state, to help replenish your US dollar treasury reserves. Yeah. And when US dollar rises, it can have profound negative impacts on these countries and societies. So this is one way to mitigate that. So yeah, I very much believe that mining is a way to transform nations, communities, and societies as well. That's
why VivoPower is destined for greatness, because you guys are at the tip of the spear from this technological evolution. What say you?
Yeah, I think kudos to Ripple and Brad and team for the intense battle that they had with the SEC. And obviously things have changed now as a result in terms of the landscape from a regulatory perspective. And I think it opens up the path for participants like us. We were constrained and somewhat tepid before in terms of taking these steps. Now it's full on. So it's still day one for us, and it's all about execution, but I think it's exciting times.
Love to hear that, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, for sharing the great details about VivoPower. For those in the audience that would like to follow you as a leader in the space.
So I am on X, so you can find me there. That's probably the main forum to do that.
And your profile is?
Kevin Chin, Arrow, A-R-O, because there's a lot of Kevin Chins.
Yeah, I'll make sure that I copy your profile and the hyperlinks to learn more about VivoPower. With that being said, it's been a pleasure connecting with you. I'm looking forward to informing the audience to learn more about Vivo. And what's that ticker symbol again?
It's VVPR.
VVPR, excellent. Yeah. Kevin, appreciate you, and I hope you have a great time in Singapore.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Cheers.